All right, good morning, everybody. We are on Daf. Today is Samaches. So we left off the Mishnah of the new parak, the seventh parak of Shabbos. I think there's 24 prakim. So now we're creeping up. So the Mishnah starts off at the bottom of Samach Zayin and Beis. So it says Klal Gadol. The Gemara will discuss why it says Klal Gadol. What's this major rule regarding Shabbos? But Klal Gadol Amar Shabbos. So they said a major rule by Shabbos. Now, Kol Hashacheach Ikar Shabbos the Asel Malachas Harbe b'Shabbos Harbe Eino Chayev Ela Chatas Achas. Now, first was like this. Now, obviously, well, not obviously. So we talk about Shabbos that there is a chiyuv misa. Person, obviously, he is warned, right, not to do malacha, and he's proper hasra, and he's told, he's warned not to do it, and does a malacha, and he does it on purpose, so he can be put to death and based in. Now, if it is something that there are no witnesses for, and he does it, so a person can be chayav kares, but the issue becomes if a person does it b'shogeg, a person does it accidentally. Now, there's two things a person has to know. He has to know in terms of that today is Saturday, so he has to be aware that it's Saturday, and he has to be aware that which he's, and he has to be aware of that which he's doing. So those two things make something mazid, right? He knows today is Saturday, the day of rest, and I know I'm not allowed to go ahead and cook, but if he does go ahead and he does now is unaware of either one of those. In other words, the guy knows he can't cook on Shabbos, and he thinks today is Friday, right? But it's really Saturday. Obviously, people don't know how that is possible, but obviously during quarantine, it is possible. Or if you watch the Castaway, right? Another way that's possible, right? So you're just on a remote island and you don't know what day it is, and you mix up the days. So then, in such a case, person might be unaware that it's Saturday. In another cases, a person is unaware that which I'm doing is forbidden on Shabbos. I had no idea you weren't allowed to cook on Shabbos, right? I always cook on Yom Tov, right? So the first case is, we're going to have three cases. So the first case is Kol HaShacheach Ikar Shabbos. Now there was machlekes in the Gemara and in terms of how to understand this. So somebody who HaShacheach sounds like someone who forgets Ikar Shabbos. So basically this is somebody who is unaware that he doesn't know about Shabbos. A person does not know about Shabbos. And so he does many malachas, right, over many Shabbosim. And then all of a sudden he becomes aware and says, oh my God, for the past, years I've been doing this every Saturday and constitutes same malacha. So he's only chayiv one chatas. He's chayiv one chatas for that which for being machal Shabbos. Okay, he's not chayiv for each and every malacha. He's not chayiv for each and every Shabbos. He's only chayiv one chatas total. That's case number one, and we'll discuss in terms of what he is aware of, what he's not. Now, case number two. Hayadeya Ikar Shabbos. Guy knows about Shabbos. I know Shabbos, there's 39 malachas you can't do on Shabbos. And the Asa malachas harbe b'Shabbos harbe. And he does many malachas, right, on many Shabbosim. Chayiv al kol Shabbos v'Shabbos. He's chayiv for each and every Shabbos because this is a situation, as the Gemara will explain, where a person is unaware, like we said, he's unaware of the calendar. He thinks today is Friday, but it's really Saturday. And therefore, it's really that mistake that he repeatedly made every week of not knowing it was Saturday. And had he known it was Saturday, he wouldn't have done the 5 malachas. Despite the fact that he did 5 malachas over, let's say, a 5-week period of time. Nevertheless, he's chayiv for every Shabbos because his mistake was not knowing each time, not knowing that day of the week. That was case number 2. Case number 3. Hayodeya shehu Shabbos v'asa malachas harbe b'Shabbos. The guy knows it's Shabbos. He knows today's Saturday, and he does many malachas harbe b'Shabbos harbe and many Shabbosim. Chayiv al kol av malacha umalacha. He's chayiv for every av malacha. So he performed every single av malacha over the period of over the long period of time. He can be chayiv up to 39 chatos, one for each av malacha. Now, the question is, okay, but I understand. So if a person cooks on Shabbos, right, on this week, and he cooks every single Shabbos, why is he only chayiv? Maybe he should be chayiv for every time, every Shabbos that he did bishul, or every Shabbos that he did zoreah or zara, or whatever. He should be chayiv for each and every one. So the Gemara talks about a case where since he does not really become aware of his violation, in other words, he knew that one couldn't cook on Shabbos, but he didn't realize that what she was doing constituted cooking, right? So therefore, it's a single mistake of being unaware of what is this malacha, and therefore that person he only made one mistake. His mistake was not knowing about what this malacha is. But had he known his malacha, so he would have done it 5 times. But since he had that one mistake of not knowing what the malacha was, therefore he would be chayiv only one chatas per malacha. So one for bishul, one for borer, one so on and so forth. So those are 3 cases. The Mishnah, obviously, the Gemara will explain. We'll go through this Mishnah over the next couple of blots. And now, if one does many different types of malachas under one malacha. So we have we have the avos malachas, which are basically the categories of malacha, which are divided into 39. There were basically 39 actions that were done, as the Gemara or the Mishnayos will later on in the Masechta will explain that there were 39 malachas that were done basically for the building of the Mishkan. Whenever it was built and moved and take it up and take it down. So there were 39 malachas for the construction of it, and therefore, so that those things are called malacha. So therefore, that's the definition of malacha. So if you do any one of these 39 actions, one is chayiv. Now, in each malacha, there are subcategories, right? Subcategory, and those are known as tolados, right? So those are known as tolados. So each tolada, so there could be one malacha, but with several tolados. So if a person violates perhaps several tolados of the same malachos, he's only chayav one. He can't be chayav twice for the same one because there are different subcategories. And once again, the Gemara will have to define and explain that. So that was the Mishnah. Let's see the Gemara. So first, the Gemara, as I mentioned, he uses the term klal gadol. This is a klal gadol. So my time of Tana klal gadol. So why does it say klal gadol? If it's because the reason, in other words, later on we want to say other rules, and therefore this is the klal gadol. And later on there's other klalos, there's other rules, right? So Tana klal gadol. And therefore it says klal gadol. So v'gabi shvis nami. Also by shmita. Right, in Mesachas Shvis, when it teaches the malachas, the different malachos, I guess, by Shemitah, which work one is forbidden to do during the 7th year, during the Shemitah. So, and the Gabi Shvis Nami Mishum de Kabbalah, it says of their klal gadol, Nami Mishum de Kabbalah Misni Oid Klal Acher. There, it wants to say other rules, so therefore Tana klal gadol, it says klal gadol. The Gemara says, "Avaha gabi meiser," but what about by meiser? Right, in terms of giving meiser, giving a 10th of one's produce. Diktani, it says of their klal acher, but loitani klal gadol. It says it gives a rule, and then it gives other rules later on, but it doesn't use the term klal gadol. So it can't use the term klal gadol just because there are other rules that are coming later on, because we see by meiser that it doesn't use the term klal gadol. So once again, why does it say klal gadol by us? So I'm Rabbi Yosi Baravin. Shabbos v'Shvis the isbu avos v'tolados by Shabbos and Shvis when there are avos and tolados. Therefore, Satana gadol. Therefore, it says klal gadol. However, meiser the less by avos v'tolados lo tana klal gadol. So there by meiser where there is no tolados, it's just avos, is just the rules over there. So therefore, it doesn't say the word klal gadol by meiser. So everything works out fine. Bar kapar, but according to Bar kapar, the Tani klal gadol. According to him, it says klal gadol by meiser. But so he actually, in his girsa of Bar kapar, he has the term klal gadol not only by Shabbos and Shvis, but he also has it in a case of meiser. So my avos, my tolados. Why'd you use the term klal gadol over there? Ika, right? So elalav. So rather, the Gemara goes off. The Gemara gives it now a different teretz, despite the fact Tosfos has a kasha over here, right, which is bothering me when I was, would learn it. So why did Bar Kapar just use the previous reason, right? The previous reason was when you want to say other rules. So by Meiser also wanted to say other rules, so it said klal gadol, but nevertheless the Gemara does not give that teretz. The Gemara gives another teretz. Elalav hainu tama. Rather, the reason is gadol. Unshel shel Shabbos yosim shel Shvis. Now, as we use the term klal gadol when this is more inclusive than other laws. So when it comes to Shabbos, it says Klal Gadol because Shabbos is more inclusive than, let's say, Shemitah, right? Shemitah only has a small amount of malachos, of rules there, as opposed to Shabbos, which is much greater. So therefore, he uses the term Klal Gadol by Shabbos, right? So it's so Hainatam the Gadol Shal Shabbos Yosim Mishal Shavis Dilu Shabbos Isa Ben Betalosh Ben Mechuber, because by Shabbos it has to do with things that are separated and things that are attached, right? You can be chayiv malacha for doing separated, for barer or other malachas that are done with detached fruit, and also something which is attached, or you can't go ahead and harvest. That's a malach on Shabbos. So since Shabbos is more inclusive, it refers to things that are attached or detached. Therefore, it uses the word Klal Gadol by Shabbos. And so, why does Shemitah by Shvis? Why does that use the term Klal Gadol? Ilu Shvis betalush lesa. 1 second. And when it comes to Shvis, betalush lesa, but mechuber isa. By Shemitah, it only applies to things that are attached to the ground, but there is no isurum when it comes to things that are detached. So, therefore, it uses the word Klal Gadol when it comes to Shabbos. The Gadol, so now question is, okay, so why by Shvis did he use the term Klal Gadol? So the Gadol, Anshel Shel Shvis, Yosim Meiser. So no, the term Klal Gadol is used by Shvis. Why? Because as to compare to Meiser. Dilu Shvis, Isa Bebe Michael Adam, Bebe Michael Behema. When it comes to Shemitah, it applies both with human food and also with food for animals. Vilu Meiser, but when it comes to Meiser, but Michael Adam, Isa, but Michael Behema Lessa. But it only applies to human food and does not apply to animal feed. And therefore, so you can use the term Klal Gadol by Shvis, because as compared to Meiser, it's a Klal Gadol. So now we explained according to why Shabbos has Klal Gadol, because as compared to Shvis, it's more inclusive. And by Shvis, it's more inclusive. That versus Meiser. And now we come back to Bar Kapara. Well, the Bar Kapara, the Tani Klal Gadol, Meiser, but according to Bar Kapara, why does he use the term Klal Gadol by Meiser? So Gadol Shel Meiser Yosim Mishal Peah, because as to compare to the halachas of Peah, then it uses the word. Why? Because by Peah, we know that one has to go ahead and leave the corner of one's field for Peah, for the poor. So when comparing Meiser to Peah, Bar Kapara says you can compare the two, and therefore, since Meiser, as we'll soon see, we're about to explain, is more inclusive, applies to more things than Peah. Therefore, we use the term Klal Gadol by Meiser. Dilu Meiser Isa B'tein of a Yerek, because when it comes to Meiser, it applies to things such as figs and vegetables. Vilu Peah, but however, the halachas of Peah, but leaving the corner of the field, less B'tein of a Yerek. It does not apply to figs and vegetables. And why is that? So let's see. The Tanai with the Mishnah, Klal Amru B'Peah, they said a rule by Peah. Kol shu eichel the nishmar gidulim in haaretz likasai kaachas umachnisai likiyum chayiv v'peah. Anything that has these qualifications, these 5 qualifications, I'm going to explain it right now. So anything that is which is food, right, and is guarded and grows from the ground and is harvested all at once, and you bring it into your house to go ahead and you bring it to the house in order for it to basically store in your house. Or if there's a check mark by all these qualifications, chayiv b'peah, then that type of produce, whatever is growing, is chayiv peah, the halachas of peah. So, what does it mean? Eichel, when it says eichel, lamute svichim sitim mikoitza. So when it says the term eichel, right, it comes to exclude any sort of sprouts, right, of weeds or other herbs or whatever it is, those sprouts that are not edible by people. So those things are excluded from peah. The nishmar and his guard lemute hefker, as opposed to something which is ownerless, right, that is pater from peah. The gedulim in aretz and grows in the ground, lemute kamin pichos, as opposed to like mushrooms, which do not necessarily take root in the ground. Rather, they're not actually from the ground. So therefore, those are your mushroom field is pater from peah.
Sorry to cut you off. Where are we holding?
So we are on the Samach Ches Amud Aleph, maybe like 15, 17 lines from the bottom.
All right. Awesome. Thank you very much.
No problem. So the katas gachas, and then it's harvested together. Yechai peah lemiyute teina, that would exclude figs, because figs are not harvested all at one time, because you can have a fig tree and not all the figs ripen at the same time. So therefore, you harvest them as they ripen. So therefore, it's not all done at the same time. So therefore, if you have a field, right? So figs are chayiv b'meiser. But if you have a fig orchard, right? It'd be not chayiv to go ahead and and take peya. Umachnisa l'kiyum, and also in order to pay, it has to be something that you bring into the house to store. Lemiyute, to exclude the vegetables, right? Vegetables you don't bring in the house and store because they'll go bad. But as opposed to, let's say, gourds or other things like that, which you do go ahead and bring in and then let them sit in the house. So those things, basically, since they're stored, that is chayiv peya. So we see, right? And v'ilu gabi meiser, when it comes to meiser tanan, it says over there, kolom of meiser kol shu oichav v'nishar gedum and aretz. Chayiv meiser, anything which is edible, right, for a human, and is guarded and is owned, right, and grows from the ground, that is chayiv meiser. However, it does not mention at all that it has to be harvested at the same time, or there has to be something that is storable in the house. Does not mention that as a qualification. So therefore, we see that meiser is more inclusive than peya. So Bar Kapara will say that's the reason why it says klal gadol by meiser, because it's more inclusive than that of peya. And obviously, the Rabbanan did not prefer to compare meiser to anything, even though they wouldn't argue necessarily with the halachas of peya or meiser. Nevertheless, they didn't think to compare the halachas of meiser and peya, and therefore did not use the term klal gadol. Fine, 2 dots. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of this Mishnah. So we said the first case we said was klal gadol amar b'Shabbos. Whoever forgets about Shabbos, right, and many Shabbosim does many malachos, he's only chayiv 1 total chatos. So we're going to have a machlokes between Rav and Shmuel is going to be 1 shita, and I think Rabbi Yochanan Reish Lakish is going to be the 2nd shita. We're going to get to them soon. So now let's see the
How
first.
is that possible? How does it continue from like Shabbos to Shabbos and only get 1 chatos?
So let's see. So Rav and Shmuel. So what type of case is it? Da'amri tarvayu masnisin betinok shenishba bein lenachrim or begir shenizgar lebein lenachrim. So says Rav and Shmuel, he says our Mishnah is talking about a case of a tinok shenishba, right? We commonly use the phrase of tinok shenishba, somebody who never knew otherwise, right? The term comes from there, a child who grew up amongst Goyim and did not know about Shabbos at all. He never learned about Shabbos, and since he never learned about Shabbos, so therefore he was completely unaware, right? He didn't know about, there was no internet, right? He didn't know about this concept of Shabbos, and then all of a sudden later on, when he's learning the halachas, he says, "Oh, by the way, for the last 20 years I've been doing this." So you're chayiv, according to Rav and Shmuel, you be chayiv for 1 chatas for all the malachas that was done, because that was done b'shoigeg. Or the gershon is gar lebein anachrim, or if you have someone who converted also. Right, is also a whole question over here. How does one convert without Kabbalah's mitzvahs? Because really, one of the main things of a conversion, right? People always say, "Oh, how did the person convert?" In terms of was it Orthodox, was it not? Right? Because yes, you need to go to the mikvah, bris milah, but one of the things also is Kabbalah's mitzvahs, to be makabel, to accept upon yourselves to do all the mitzvahs. So how could one go ahead and be makabel upon himself the mitzvahs if he didn't know about Shabbos? So it could be that there is no obligation to inform him of all the mitzvahs, but he was makabel for whatever he knew of Shabbos, so perhaps there is a case, but nevertheless, that gerus would work. But nevertheless, the point over here is we're talking about somebody who was unaware, never knew about Shabbos. If he never knew about Shabbos, and then he learned when he was 30 years old all about Shabbos, so he's chayiv 1 chatas for all the previous malachas and Shabbosim that he did. But he cared now, so that would be level 1 of not knowing anything. Never learned. Now, aval he cared the seif shachach. But let's say a person once learned. He went to Hebrew school as a child, and he learned it, and then he completely forgot everything. He did not know. He completely forgot. He was unaware. Chayev al kol Shabbos v'Shabbos. Then the person.
So in other words, when you learned about it already, it's irreversible. You have that. You cannot know about it and then just remove yourself and that's it.
So that's going to be the opinion of Rav and Shmuel. Let's see. So all Rav and Shmuel say that, right? Very good. Okay. So about hikil of seif shachach, but a person once learned and then he forgot about it. Chayiv al kol Shabbos v'Shabbos. So since he once knew about Shabbos, so he learned about Shabbos in Hebrew school, and then he completely forgot. He had no recollection, no nothing, and then all of a sudden he came back, right? So such a case, he'd be chayav every Shabbos because his transgression was he forgot about Shabbos, and he forgot about every week. When he forgot about Shabbos, it was a violation of what he once knew. He goes chayav kol Shabbos, and therefore that would basically be category number 2 at our Mishnah. So Gemara says, well, first of all, Tanan. So now we're going to have to question Rav and Shmuel Shita. So remember, If you never knew about it, that's the case when you're chayiv once. But if you knew about it and forgot about it, then you're chayiv for each and every Shabbos. So the Gemara says, well, first of all, our Mishnah says, Tanan hashacheach ikar Shabbos. The lashon our Mishnah says one who forgot. It doesn't say one who never knew. It says one who forgot. Sounds like the only way to forget something is if you once knew. So lav michlal dahavile yediyah does not mean that he once had a idea. He once knew about Shabbos, and therefore a shacheach means he forgot. So the Gemara says, "Look, not necessarily. My kol shacheach. What is it? Ikar Shabbos. What does it mean that whoever forgot about Ikar Shabbos means the haisa shachuach mimenu Ikar Shabbos? It means that the concept of Shabbos was forgotten to him, and it was never known to him. So in other words, it is a stretch, it is a force, but the Gemara, the Rav and Shmuel are able to defend themselves by saying it means that something was forgotten for them forever. It was never known to them. Okay, so the Gemara says, okay, but according to your logic, but in the case number 2, we said the person learned about it in Hebrew school, then he forgot about it. So then he be chayiv for each and every Shabbos. So at the Tani Hayodea Ikar Shabbos. So what was case number 2 in our Mishnah? Our case number 2 in our Mishnah says Hayodea Ikar Shabbos v'yasam malachas harbe b'Shabbosais harbe chayiv kol Shabbos b'Shabbos. We said case number 2 is a guy who is in quarantine. He does not have internet. He does not know what day it is, and he mixed up Friday was a Saturdays, and every Friday he thought it was Saturday, or I guess every Saturday he thought it was Sunday, right? And he did the malachas. So therefore he be chayiv for each and every Shabbos. So why does it give that case? Lisni, why don't you say a bigger chiddush in our Mishnah? Lisni hikir l'say shachach. Why don't you say like this? If a person knew about Shabbos and completely forgot about it, you might think he's only chayiv once for not knowing about Shabbos. So no, even in that case, he's chayiv for each and every Shabbos. And certainly when the person makes a mistake every week of thinking it's Sunday and not Saturday, the kol shekain, and certainly this. So the Gemara says, you're right. So my hayidei Ikar Shabbos. So what does it mean, somebody who knows Ikar Shabbos? Misha yadua Ikar Shabbos v'shacha. Okay, fine. So now we're going to slide everything over. So case number 2 is not a case where the person knew about Shabbos, he just didn't realize it was Saturday. Rather, we're talking about a case of a guy who once knew about Shabbos and then completely forgot. That's the second case of Mishnah. So according to Rav and Shmuel at this point in time. Misha yadua Ikar Shabbos v'shacha. And then he forgot. So the Gemara asks, he pushes. Aval, turn the page. Aval lo yishacha mai. But if he didn't forget it at all, in other words, he knew, he just didn't know it was Saturday. So mai chayv al kol malacha malacha. So then that he would be chayv for each and every malacha, like the third case. So why did it say in the third case, Adatani hayudeh shu Shabbos v'asam malachas harbe v'shabbos harbe chayv al kol malacha malacha? Why did it say in that case that one who knew about Shabbos and he did all the malachos, he just didn't realize that which he was doing was a malacha. In that case, he's chayiv for each and every av malacha. Lisni, say a bigger chiddush. Hayadea Ikar Shabbos v'kol shekena. One who knows about Shabbos and just didn't realize it was Saturday, he should be chayiv for each and every one, if that also is the same halacha. So Ella, rather, no. We're going to go back to our original understanding. Ella masnisen. So really, cases number 2 and 3, we don't want to touch. Case number 2 is a case where a person knew about Shabbos, he just didn't realize that it was Saturday, and therefore he's chayiv for each and every Shabbos that he performed halacha, right? And case number 3 was he knows about Shabbos, he knows it's forbidden to cook, he just didn't realize that this was cooking, and therefore he's chayiv overall for every week that he cooked. He's chayiv 1 chatas for cooking. And what's the case number 1? Ella masnisen shehikil v'sei shachach. Our Mishnah is talking about when he knew about Shabbos and then he completely forgot. And the case of Rav and Shmuel, when they said a case of a tinok shenishba, right? Such a case is no different than one who once learned about it and completely forgot it. So in other words, Rav and Shmuel hold that the case of our Mishnah, okay, the ratio of the Mishnah is actually can be potentially 2 different cases where he's chayav for 1 total chatas for many weeks of malacha, or many years, or whatever it is, and many malachos. And what is that? Either he never learned about it, or he once learned about it and completely forgot. Both those cases are included in the Mishnah when he's chayav 1 chatas. That's what we say. Rav and Shmuel, they say, afilu tinok shenishba ben anachim beger sheniskar ben anachim. Even a tinok, right, who was he was, what's it called, right? He grew up amongst the goyim, and he was captured by the goyim, and then he grew up over there, right? Or a convert that converted there, So that such a case is just like is just like one who knew about Shabbos and then forgot the chayiv, and then he's chayiv. So that was according to Rav and Shmuel. So that was the first opinion. So first opinion, we cleared up things. We don't want to touch cases number 2 and 3. We're just touching the case of number 1 is when is a person only chayiv for one chatas for multiple malachas over multiple weeks, and that was the case. Either he never knew about Shabbos, or he once knew about it and completely forgot about it. The Rabbi Yechanan and Rabbi Shimon ben Lakish, Damri Tavaya, and Rabbi Yechanan and Rish Lakish argue, and they say, Dafka he could say shachach. Dafka in the case where he forgot about it. Only in the case where he once knew about Shabbos and then completely forgot, right? Like the case we said talking about Hebrew school. About Tinok Shanishba Bein Anachrim, the Gershon is Gayer the Bein Anachrim. But in the case of a child who was captured by the Goyim and grew up there and never heard about Shabbos, or one who converted around Goyim and never knew about Shabbos, Pater. That person, once he learns about Shabbos, he does not have to bring a chatas, he's Pater. So in other words, Rav and Shmuel argue with, everyone agrees in the case of one who knew about Shabbos and then forgot about it, and then Yidol Malachas is Chayv. The machlokes would be in a case of a Tinok Shanishba, if he would be Chayv for one chatas for all the past previous transgressions, or like Rabbi Yechanan and Rish Lakish say he's Pater. So Meis Ve'eser Kasha from a long brisa. Cloud Gadol Amr b'Shabbos. They said if a rule by Shabbos Kol Shukech Iker Shabbos Vasam Lochas Harbe v'Shabbos Harbe Einu Chayv Elachas. It says over there in this brisa, the case of our Mishnah, one who he forgets about Shabbos and he does many malachos over many weeks. He's only Chayv one chatas. Ketzad, and the brisa there Beferish says, okay, how is this case? What is this case? So Tinok Shanishba Lebein Anachrim. The Gershon is Gar Bein Anachrim. Vasam Lochas Harbe v'Shabbos Harbe Einu Chayv Elchatas. It says Beferish that he grew up amongst the Goyim. He did not know about Shabbos, and that is the case where he's Chayv one. So this is a kasha. Right, this would be a contradiction to Rabbi Yechanan and Rish Lakish, because they say such a case he's Pater. He doesn't even have to bring 1; he brings 0. Right, and also the Chayiv al Adam, he would also be Chayiv for a case of, let's say he knew about blood and then he had blood multiple times. He brings 1 chatas for blood. Achas excuse me, the Chayiv al Adam achas. For blood, he brings 1 v'al chaylev achas, and one who eats forbidden fats over many times. Also Chayv 1 time, Avodah Zarah Achas, and also Avodah Zarah Achas. Right, so that was the Tanakama, which is an obvious contradiction to Rabbi Yechanan and Rish Lakish. Munbaz Paiter, and Munbaz actually would say, like Rabbi Yechanan and Rish Lakish, who would hold that he's actually Pater. No, if you never knew about it, then it's Pater. The Kachaya Munbaz done, and this is how Munbaz hold. Lifnei Rabbi Kiva, this is how we taught before Rabbi Kiva. He says, Hoel Mezi Karei Choyte. Since we find in the Torah, a person does something purposely, he doesn't b'mezid, he's called a chayta. The shaygeg karoi chayta, and one who does something b'shaygeg accidentally is called a chayta. So ma mezid shaysa layadia, af shaygeg layadia. So there's a rule, there's a common denominator. Just by mezid, he had previous knowledge. So too, says Munbaz, in order to be chayv chatas, you had to have once upon a time a yediyah, an idea that this is forbidden. So just like by Mazid, you had an idea that this is forbidden, so too in a case of Shogeg, you have to have a Yediyah. So therefore, in a case of Tinok Shenishba, right, Tinok Shenishba ben Nachrim, where he never had a Yediyah, he'd be Pater, because you need this quality, right, or you need this this circumstance to be to be checked off the list that he once upon a time had to have a Yediyah. So Amar L'Rei Kiva. So he says, okay, I'm going to ask you, are any mice about the brecha? All right, I'm gonna. Let's go with your logic, Munbaz, right? So okay, so if you're saying the idea, so if you're comparing shogeg to mazid, so just like by mazid, when you do that, what you're doing it with knowledge during the maisa. So to shogeg should be, you should at least have the knowledge during the maisa. Some lahain, right? So yeah, certainly. Okay, fine. Add that to it. Yeah, I mean, you're agreeing with me. Obviously, you hold there has to be a dia. So okay, so there has to be a dia during the while it's being done. The Veracha says, oh, if you're agreeing with me, Munbaz, so if he has the dia while he's doing the Maisa, in other words, he knows that there's Shabbos and he's doing the Malacha, right? Ein Zakari Shagig Ela Mezid. This is not called Shagig, it's called Mezid. So in other words, if you're saying there has to be a dia, So say just like Mesa, just like there's a Yediyah during the Maisa, so too by Shogeg has to be Yediyah during the Maisa. But if it's a Shogeg during the Maisa, that's not called Shogeg, that's called Mezid. So argues Rabbi Kiva. Obviously, it's two different. You don't need Yediyah at all. And Munbaz will hold no. You do need it. A Yediyah, obviously not during, because then that would really be the Mezid. You need it before in order to make it Shogeg. So nevertheless, that was the Brisa. So Ketani Miaz, nevertheless, it says in the Brisa, as I pointed out earlier, Ketzad Tinok. So what's the case? It says, a case of a child who never knew. If a child never knew, such a case is chayiv. It's a kasha on Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokis. So Bishlam Rav and Shmuel Nicha. According to Rav and Shmuel, works out well because according to them, one is not only chayiv if he forgot about it, but even if he never knew about it, he'd still be chayiv on chatas. El Rabbi Yochanan and Shlokish. However, according to Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish, so kasha, it should be a kasha. Stamalacha, Rabbi Yochanan and Shlakish. So lo miika munbaz de pater. Is there not a second opinion in this brisa by the name of Munbaz, right? And Munbaz said, he said it pater in such a case. So Munbaz. So we hold like Munbaz. And the Gemara says, okay, real quick, my time in the Munbaz. What is the reason according to Munbaz? Why does he hold that you need a yediyah? So the pasuk says, Torah achas yelochem lo'ise b'shkaga. So the Torah says, Torah achas, when you do something b'shkaga, and the samich, and over there you have to bring a chatas, and the samich land puts right next to it, and it says over there right after someone who does it something b'mezid. So hikish shegeg lemezid. So the Torah, since the juxtaposition they're putting together, so therefore it has them two together. So therefore we make a comparison between shegeg and mezid. Ma mezid shaisla yediyah, just like by mezid he had a yediyah. I've shegeg shaisla yediyah. So according to Munbaz, just like by mezid you have a yediyah, so too in the case of shogeg you need some sort of idea. So obviously it can't be during the ma'aseh because then it's mezid. It must have been that you once upon a time knew about it and then you forgot about it, and that's the yediyah that is required for shogeg. The Rabbanan, we'll just go a couple more. We're just going to turn the page in 1 minute. The Rabbanan, hi torachas my avile. And according to the Rabbanan, okay, if you don't need a yediyah, so what's the reason why this? What do they do with this pasuk of torachas my avile? So they actually need the makri lay Rabbi Shimon Levi l'brei, like that which Rabbi Shimon Levi taught his son. The pasuk says torachas yelachem lo'isa b'shkag. It says one who does this something who does something b'shagig, he does something accidentally. The Ksivan says over there. A couple of psukim earlier, it says, "V'chi tishku v'loy sasu es kol mitzvah sa'ila," and it says, well, over there, when you make a mistake and you don't do any of these mitzvahs, and over there, that is by avodah zarah. V'ksi v'hanefesh asher tasa b'yad rama, and so one who does something b'mezid. So it says over there that it mentions avodah zarah and it mentions does b'mezid and does b'shogeg. So v'hukshu kulam le'avodah zarah. So therefore, all the compared to avodah zarah. It's just like by avodah zarah, one who does it, right? B'mezid, he's chayav kares. He's cut off from this world and the next world. But he does b'shogeg. He mentions over there he brings a chatas. Av kol davar. So to any matter, shechayav knows the kares. So to any matter which if you would do it b'mezid, if you chayav kares, shechayav chatas. And therefore, if he does b'shogeg, he has to do a chatas. So now it's teaching us the halachas that any case where there is a kares and you do it b'shogeg, you'd have to bring a chatas. So that's what the Rabbanan do with this pasuk of Torah achas. So we'll have to see what Munbaz does with this pasuk, and we will stop here. All right. There was 33 minutes.